Today is gonna be fun. My old buddy Chael Sonnen collaborates with the Couv on this one. I'm calling this episode The Flag, a Bag, Conor and Floyd. Chael will deconstruct an incident from the second press conference where Floyd Mayweather gets an Irish flag from a fan and suddenly everything becomes very real. When it comes to pulling back the curtain and digging deep into the psychology of the fight game, trash talk, and mental warfare, old Chael is pretty goddamn good, if not the best. But don't let him hear me say that. If that man's head gets any bigger, he'll need a new toupee, and I'm not sure they make them that big. This singular interaction is the key to unlocking all the questions surrounding the build-up and fight between Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. There's so much to unpack here. This will be a two-parter. In this first episode, Chael will walk us through the whole incident. He'll point out important behaviors that went completely unnoticed by the MMA media and Twitterverse. He'll evaluate and give possible interpretations. And last, Chael will discuss the one action by Conor McGregor that has him completely baffled, the one thing he can't understand or figure out. I'll just step back and let my buddy Chael take it from here.
Now stay with me on this. There's a lot going on here. This might have looked simple to you, but let me break this down. So the fan hands him an Irish flag, at which point Floyd takes it. And as soon as I see that, I'm like, uh-oh, what's going to happen here? Because this doesn't end well. If Floyd disrespects somebody else's, throws it down or spits on it, that's not good for Floyd. So Floyd takes the flag and then he wraps himself in it. He wraps it around his shoulders. Okay, he could do that. He could do that. What's going to happen here, though? This is spontaneous. Floyd wraps himself in the flag, and I'm even at home going, uh-oh. What's going to happen? And Conor lifts up his microphone, which is hot the whole time. He's doing a pretty good job of not interrupting him. But he does tell him,
You do something with that flag, I'll fuck you up.
That's not a joke. He wouldn't have had a choice. For Conor and who he is, and everything that is involved with the character and the persona and the real human being that is Conor, he doesn't have a choice. If Floyd is to do something, Conor has to come and will come over there, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. He's not going to stay in his chair. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. It'd be a really bad thing if Floyd was to do something to the flag. So Floyd wraps himself in it, and then he squats down. Conor does the thing where he wraps himself in his flag, and then he squats into a certain stance. So Floyd does the Conor move. What I liked him, and Floyd's done his homework. He's watched some Conor tape. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't say a word. He's just up there doing stuff with the flag, and oh my goodness, the anticipation. We're all going, what is he going to do? I know what he should do, which is nothing, but he's already taken the flag. It's already in his possession. What's he going to do? How is this going to end? And Conor tells him a second time, and there's no mistaking the sincerity. If you do anything to that flag, I am going to F you up.
Just now you do something with that flag, you ain't getting this bag or this money back, and I'm going to fuck you up on this stage.
Now, we could talk about boxing all we want. We could talk about August 26th all we want. I don't think any of us need to make believe what's going to happen in a street fight between Conor and Floyd with no rules. That's not going to be good for old Floyd. Floyd's taking his time, and I could tell he's thinking, what do I do now that I've taken this flag? What do I do? So Floyd finally takes the flag off his shoulders, and now it's in his left hand, and he walks straight up to Conor, and he hands it to him. Absolutely the right thing to do. The only thing he could do. And don't forget, and this matters. Don't dismiss this. Floyd told the fan, I'll give it to him. Now, you can do all the showmanship you want. Floyd still gave his word to a fan that I will deliver to him. The fan was hesitant, and Floyd said it a second time, no, I really will. He now has an agreement. He's either a man of his word or he's not. Well, it turned out Floyd was. Floyd handled it absolutely perfectly. Story's not quite done. Floyd hands the flag to Conor. Okay, the very flag that Conor said, if you do anything to, I will F you up. Said it twice and meant it. Conor took the flag and threw it right on the ground. I don't know how to interpret that piece of art. All I know is it worked. The crowd went crazy. I'm watching it at home and I'm going, brilliant. What was Conor supposed to do with it? folded up all military style and set it in the corner. What's Conor supposed to do with it? So Conor then disrespects his own flag. So I didn't know how to interpret this piece of art. I still don't know that I do. I just know that it worked. I was on the phone earlier with Sean Stasiak, Dr. Stasiak, professional wrestler. Been a guest on this show. I'm sure you guys are well aware who I'm talking about. But I love to talk to these old school wrestlers because they understand the psychology. The side of it that I bring to you guys and kind of show you what's actually happening here that maybe you missed. I don't mean that condescendingly, but maybe you would miss it. Some of these old school wrestlers, they really understand it. They go out and they manufacture it ahead of time. Well, there was no ahead of time about this. There was no scripts. What Floyd did was spontaneous. What Conor did was spontaneous. So I go, hey, this was an amazing moment. But how do I interpret Conor throwing his own flag on the ground, which would have been completely disrespectful had anybody else done that exact same thing? For some reason, it worked when Conor did it. And Sean said, he goes, here is my interpretation. I thought that what Conor's sign is, hey, this flag is now disrespected. It's had Floyd's filthy hands on it. It's been wrapped around Floyd's body. So we don't even need this flag anymore. I don't know if Sean's right. I don't know the interpretation. I'm just telling you it worked.
There you go. Old Chael can tell a goddamn good story, no doubt. Anyone have a reasonable interpretation of why Conor threw the flag back at Floyd? I'll use all the comments in the follow-up episode. Chael's friend has a good take. In fact, it's a textbook interpretation of the behavior. One might classify it as a regressive defilement. An object becomes something else, something less than it once was by contextual transmogrification. Not a single atom in that flag has changed, yet somehow we all understand it's no longer what it was. For me, Courvoisier, the rough-skinned newt, good isn't good enough. We need to go a lot deeper than a textbook interpretation if we're gonna suss out enough information from these behaviors to have a goddamn clue of what's really going on up there. I'm building a theory. That's my thing. Before you can have a theory, you need a rock-solid as fuck hypothesis. For your hypothesis to be rock-solid as fuck, it must make testable predictions. Simple as that. Thus, we need an interpretation of Conor's behavior which produces enough information to model data sets. And hopefully from there we get predictions we can test. So we're going deep, out there beyond the Kuiper Belt deep. In part 2, I'll put everything in context and give a cogent explanation of Conor and Floyd's behavior. Most importantly, I will reveal Conor's meta plan for controlling Floyd's beliefs and behaviors, and why Conor expects these techniques to put him in the best position to win against Floyd on fight night. I'll have the next episode finished ASAP. Subscribe below and you'll be informed as soon as it's up. Shout out to old Chael for collaborating with me on this. Also to my good friend Thomas for all his support and encouragement, and fuck you, George.